Hello everyone, welcome again. Today we have another interesting offer in the shop, and in that video I would like to bring some details and information about the offered tank and help you up to make a decision to buy or maybe not to buy. So what we have here today is a German medium premium tank on tier 8, the Molten Panther 8.8. If we look in the shop, the offer contains the tank itself with the garage slot, all 9 equipment slots unlocked, Molten Lava Rare Camouflage, 10 certificates of ×5 experience for Panther 8.8, and this is very important because I'm still getting information messages from people who bought certain packs in the shop and then complain because they can't use those speed up certificates to get more experience on different tanks. No, those ×5 certificates are valid only for this particular tank. If it's not stated otherwise, it's always like it clearly says is for Panther 8.8. So you can't use those certificates or any of the tanks, only for this one. And we have a pack of different boosters. It's 10 packs of 10 boosters of each kind. We have Epic Combat XP booster, Epic Crew XP, Epic Free XP, and Epic Credit booster. 10 of each, and at the end we have Brute Force Epic Avatar. Altogether cost us 8,500 of gold, or you can spend 7,500 of gold and buy the tank, only tank with garage slot. It's up to you. About the tank, as you can see, I just got 2 tanks here to compare. This is Panther 8.8 and Panther 2. Both tanks are on tier 8, and both tanks looks exactly the same. Look at that. There's no difference. There's only one small difference here on the gun mantlet. This is Panther 8.8 and this is Panther 2. So this is the only difference. Otherwise all the model looks exactly the same. No difference also here. So as you can see, we can stop here and say, okay, this is just a Panther 2 with the credit booster and that's it. But no, it's not exactly true. Let's talk about the details of this tank. If you look here, the gun gonna be the first one. We have, of course, Panther 88. The name comes from the gun because we have a gun. We have a German 88mm gun, the long one with 71 calibers long, which is commonly called the long 88. It's one of the best guns in the game and one of the most accurate. This gun is widely used on Panther 2, on Tiger 1, Tiger 2, for example. So it's a well-known. People are always saying it's one of the best guns in the game. And as you can see on details, it is, because we have very good aiming time, 3.1, dispersion 0.31, which could be reduced to 0.28 with the proper equipment, DPM 2118, and reload time of 6.23, which could be reduced with again with equipment to 5.9. So the parameters are quite good. Penetration of this gun is also very good, 203mm on medium tank. On regular shells, 235 on premium shells, and 44mm on high explosives. Now, alpha damage, 220 points on regular shells, 190 on premium, and 270 on high explosives, which is also for a medium tank is very good parameter. Don't forget, for example, you can use you have the same gun on Tiger, for example, on tier 7, and also on Panther 2 on the Tech 3. The gun depression, we have 8 degrees, which is very good value, and elevation 14 degrees. And this is the first small difference between Panther 2 and Panther 88. Here we have 14 degrees of elevation, and Panther 2 has 20 degrees. But 8 degrees of gun depression is very good value again. Let's take a look about another part. The speed of this tank. This is quite nice and fast tank. We have 32 km/h average speed, but it's quite easy to obtain. It's a good tank, very fast with a quick start. Forward maximum speed 55 and reverse 20 kilometers. Weight 46.5 gives us power to weight ratio on 16.5, which is also not bad. 16.5 horsepower per ton. That's quite good value for medium tank. And here we got compared both of those tanks, Panther 88 and Panther 2. As you can see, like we talked about, The DPM is exactly the same, penetration the same, alpha damage, rate of fire, everything is the same. So all the gun parameters are pretty much the same. Weapon handling, this is first tiny difference, because like I said, aiming time 1.54 against 1.72 is a 0.2 difference between those guns, so it's not really significant. Dispersion 0.29 against 0.30 also is only 3%, so it's not even noticeable. And movement and rotation 0.1 against 0.12 also just a fraction of a difference, not really significant. Depression and elevation, like I said, 8 degrees of depression, 14 of elevation on Panther 8.8, and we have 20 degrees of elevation on Panther 2. That's the only difference. Movement and mobility. As you can see, the power to weight ratio on Panther 8.8 is slightly better, 18.23 horsepower per ton against 14.39 on Panther 2, but the terrain resistance on Panther 2, they are slightly better, so they are all those values are balanced, and there's pretty much the same speed on both tanks. That's it. And those are the only difference between those two tanks. But there is one more difference that we're going to talk about in now. Here we have armor profile of Panther 8.8, and as you can see, this is Panther 2. They are pretty much the same tanks. The shape is almost the same with a few tiny difference, and we're gonna talk about those difference. Here, this is Panther 88, and the turret looks at the shape of the turret is almost the same like Panther 2. The only difference is here on a cupola, on a commander's hatch. We had 117 millimeters here and 138 here, against 144 and 100 millimeters. So that's the first tiny difference. And the shape of those turrets are pretty much the same, and here on the frontal plate of a turret we have 170 millimeters on Panther 88 and 180 millimeters on Panther 2. So we have 10 millimeters less armor here on Panther 88. On the sides is 296, of course, because they are sloped, but again Panther 2 has a slightly better angle here. I had 375, 376. So that Panther 8.8 has a slightly like 10 millimeter less armor here on the front. It's not much, not very big difference, but there is a difference. So you may feel it somehow if you fight the certain tanks. On the lower plate of a hull, on Panther 8.8 we have 170, 180 millimeters. On Panther 2 we have 199, 200, 200 up to 220. So here we have 20 millimeter of difference on the frontal plate. The lower plate here on Panther 8.8 is 160, 170 millimeters, and here we have 150, 160. So again 10 millimeters less on the lower plate. That's Panther 88. 10 millimeters less of armor here, 20 millimeters less of armor on the frontal plate, and 10 millimeters less on the turret, less than Panther 2 that we know from the tech tree. Side armor, there's another similar situation, both tanks. The only difference here is that side protection, spaced armor here, that gives you 61 millimeter plus 5 millimeter of spaced armor, and here is only 71 millimeter all over. So it's like 10 millimeters, 61 and 70 millimeters here. There's not much difference, it's almost the same. See, 69, and here is 60 millimeter underneath that side protection. So it's pretty much the same. The model is the same, and the back as usual 45 and 67, and on the Panther we have 48, pretty much the same kind of armor. So as you can see, it's almost the same tank with a small difference. The Panther 8.8 has a slightly weaker armor than Panther 2, and that's the only difference between those two tanks. So if you want to try this tank, you can get Panther 2 from the tech tree, try to play a few battles, and then find out for yourself if this tank is good for you or not. So if I would recommend this tank, well, we have a pretty nice platform here with a good speed, nice mobility, good decent armor profile, good gun depression, and a very good gun on top of that. But there's also a but. If you're looking for a premium tank to play for something special to play, you know, to get for on the premium tank, I would not recommend, because we have exactly a copy of this tank we have in the German tech tree. The Panther 2 on tier 8 is exactly the same tank like this one, with even slightly better parameters, because like we just talked about, the armor profile is slightly better on Panther 2 than on this one. And if you are looking for something to farm the credits, well, once again, we have better tanks, and sometimes in the better offers, like T-34, like Lever, like Super Pershing, for example. All those tanks, they give you much more credits than this one, and they're also kind of player friendly. So no, again, once again, I would not recommend this one to buy. Not for this price, because 7,500 of gold is just a regular price for a premium tier 8 tanks, and there's nothing exceptional in this machine to recommend it. So once again, no, this time I would not recommend to buy this tank. And that's it for today. I hope I give you some useful information and help you up to make a decision according to this tank. If you want to see any other reviews, you can browse the channel and find something for yourself. If you like my videos, you can subscribe the channel and stay tuned for new incoming videos, because they will come very soon. Meanwhile, that will be all. Thanks everyone for coming and watching. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope I'm gonna see you next time. Meanwhile, take care and goodbye.